Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Van Vita Travels. I'm constantly getting notifications from my Aurora app right now that tells me when we're getting a potential viewing of the Northern Lights. And it says, oh, there's an excellent chance in the next hour to see it if the sky is clear. I quickly checked the weather network and the sky is clear. Dang it. I definitely will be running out of town really quickly once this live stream is done. Just to let you guys know, tonight Van Life with Gina and Greg with Fit for Expedition are not going to be going live. They're both under the weather, so let's just hope that they're feeling better soon. I want to thank Dream on Wheels for sharing out the live stream, as well as Fordman, aka Ken Folks. Thank you guys so much for doing that. It's greatly appreciated. And thank you everybody for being here. Yep, field trip. Absolutely field trip. I am so excited to try to catch some more, because the last time we had them that they were really bright, it was too cloudy here. I drove like 20 minutes north of here and I just couldn't seem to find any breakup in the clouds. So I have to enjoy some of those benefits of Canada before I get to escape it. So let me see who is all here. I'm not going to, well, I guess I will go back here. We got Tracy, who is one of our guests tonight. Michael Ann is here. Tim's here. Crazy Entertainment. Thank you so much for coming in. Outdoor Adventures with Ron. It's always wonderful to see you. Dream on Wheels. George and Rose. Kenneth Oaks. Nate with Land Cloud Adventures. Christina, thank you for being here. We got Becky and Amy and Lillian. Hope Bus, Diane and Elizabeth and Debbie. Oh my goodness, there's so many awesome people here. Hello, Jim from Winnipeg, Winterpeg. Good to see you here. We got Mike and Anne. Evening Shades here, the Morris family, Old Car Junkie. How's it going, buddy? I want to thank Van Life Rocks for the raid tonight. That was really good. And I'm not sure if my answers got to count because I'm a moderator. If not, I think I won something. I'm just kidding. I watched just like all the rest of you. Hey, Floss, good to see you. She Devil Adventures is a part of the raid. You guys are so cool. Lynn Morris, Linda Peterson, Breeze here. Holy moly, you guys. I'm seeing 41 people in here. Karen with Prairie Life. Hello, hello. Another fellow Canadian. Auntie's in the house. Shanna, so good to see you. Shanna Craft, for anyone that doesn't know, is the first person to ever watch any of my live streams. Oh, it's so nice to have support. Neil's here. Dad Cam Rocks. Michelle is here. Oh my goodness. Linda Barker is here. Justin and Christina are here. Tumbleweed RV Life. Surprise, surprise is here. Oh my goodness. So many wonderful, wonderful people. I'm probably missing or else repeating names. Michael Ann, I think I had seen you already. Forever Best Friend. Hello, Charlie Grace. We got Mellow Nomadic Adventures in here. I don't think that's fair to recruit. I should be able to count playing that game on Van Life Rocks because I watched just the same as all of you. In fact, a lot of you have actually met him and I have not. We'll have to get some clarification on the rules. Yeah, Justin and Christina definitely sound like celebrities. Hello, Dale. I hope you're enjoying the warmer weather. We're going to be getting some cold coming in soon, but it's nice so far. Hello, Joy Blessed Life. Oh my goodness. I think my chat just totally jumped again. All right, you guys, we don't have a whole lot of time. So I'm going to introduce Christian and Tracy from Tumbleweed RV Life. They are fellow Canadians. One of them is actually in Alberta right now, and one is Saskatchewan. So we're going to have them up on two separate screens. Funny thing, small world. Who has a live stream today on Travel to Mexico before me? Bob Wells for Creativity RV. But we're going to give you a whole different perspective on it. Hi, time for exploring. Good to see you here. All right, so Mike, Christian and Tracy, are you guys ready? All right, let me bring you up. Hello, how are you?
Good, good. How's everybody?
Good.
Hi, honey.
Where are each of you?
I'm in Regina.
And I am in Edmonton, Alberta.
Nice.
So
you guys are what, about 10 hours apart right now?
8-hour drive, 7.5-hour drive.
Something like that.
So I left this morning. I just got here a couple hours ago.
So why don't we just start off by introducing yourself to everyone in the chat. I think most people know you, but maybe some don't. Do you want to let them know a little bit about you guys and your channel?
Go ahead, honey.
Sure. Do you want to go ahead, hon?
You go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Tracy.
And we are Tumbleweed RV Life. And we went full-time RV life in 2019 in the spring. And with everything that's been going on, we got off the road last fall, and we decided to still go to Mexico because we have property down in Mexico where we RV life down there. But we actually flew down and left the camper last year, and we got back in the spring, and we continued RV life over the summer. But again, we decided not to go south of the border this year. We decided to stay home. So we closed up the camper for winter, and we are staying in Canada for this winter. So
you guys decided before they announced that the borders were opening in November, you decided before that announcement that you were going to stay in Canada this year.
Just like last year, before we found out that we could have shipped our camper across the border and fly, we made decisions and we made commitments. So we need to honor those commitments. They're family commitments. So we decided to stay. You know, there's some pros and cons. I find that by spending the winter now, that prospect was really hard to take initially. But now, personally, I'm going to be looking forward to hitting back the road next year. And it'll be so much sweeter. And we have all this wonderful time with the grandchildren, which we really miss in the last couple of years. Especially last winter, we left, you know, when grandchild was 2 months old, and we come back and they're like 7 months old. It's a big difference, and it's really nice to spend time with them and see them grow.
So how many times have you guys driven all the way from Canada through the US to Mexico? The one time?
Yes.
And then you bought property the very first time you went to Mexico?
No.
Like drove down?
No. We bought property before.
17.
Yeah.
So had you been there to see it before you bought it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we've been going to Cabo for years. Tracy's been going down since what?
2010.
So 2010.
Well, actually, 2010 was with you, and I went down in 2008.
So you're very familiar with that area of Mexico then?
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, we were looking to buy a property down there. We were thinking a condo like downtown Cabo, but there was really nothing that appealed, and or we could afford, and because you have to pay cash, you can't get financing, and so you got to come up with a lot of cash, and we didn't have that kind of cash, but so we thought, well, maybe we'll buy land, and we walked by a realtor office, and there was some, you know, postings on our window, and we saw a lot that was kind of in our price range. So we walked in, and we developed a relationship with our realtor, and we went out to go have a look at what she had to, you know, what was up there. And it was a small subdivision of, I think, 8-10 lots. And we didn't buy the one we were looking at on the poster. We ended up buying the two other ones next to it together side by side to make one nice 1 acre together.
Oh, so you have enough room for visitors.
Yes. Right now we have room for another Class C, Class B, um, truck camper, shorties.
Mm-hmm.
And we had started, when we went last winter, we rented a car and we went out to the property, and we've been thinking about, it's always been in the plan that we would have 3 to 5 sites there to be able to handle 3 to 5 other rigs. Um, and so we were thinking last winter, which direction can we go? Because we're being very selective as to what we cut down and what we open up, because it's wild Mexican desert.
Were you afraid to buy property in Mexico? I mean, I hear of people afraid to visit or drive through Mexico, and here you are, you bought land where you're really pretty much unprotected, even from other eyes, right?
True. Well, I shouldn't say that. I was a little afraid of leaving stuff there. Put it that way. Because basically it's not a fence per se, as just like wire, like
Just
barbed wire.
Yeah.
So to leave stuff there, it is, it's intimidating, but there is neighbors. We have neighbors. I mean, we can't watch everybody's stuff, obviously, but I'm not too worried about it, really. And when we were there, the guy, like the one neighbor started building right away, so there was always people there.
Okay.
When we were there, so
now myself, I was terrified when I first went to Mexico. It was like cartels and being abducted, and
we hear a lot of that in Canada. We really have Mexico misrepresented, truly, to a lot of us.
Absolutely. And I guess, in the mainland, it's one thing, if you're in the cartel areas, but Baja is its own animal. It's very rural. It's very dispersed. There's very no crime. There's no drug trade per se. There's a little bit of a drug trade in Cabo San Lucas.
Yeah.
But it's really hard, there's checkpoints everywhere. It's really hard to get it across.
Put it this way, it's Mexican on Mexican crime. They don't touch, like, you won't hear the tourists like that because they need us. And honestly, there is so many Canadians and so many Americans that live there. It to be honest with you, Paula, it feels like I'm in the States most of the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in California. It's mostly Americans and Canadians with a lot of Mexicans running around. It's like, it's a mix. It's a blend.
Okay, well, here's a question though. Okay, so you bought the property, you already have cash, you can't finance it, and then you move out there. How do you communicate with anyone to build or to buy stuff? Like, how is the communication between English and Spanish for you guys out there?
You better learn Spanish.
Google Translate. And we have our son. Our son is
oh,
Mexican,
thank God for him.
Our Mexican son.
Yeah.
And so when we get in a bind like that, we try to arrange to have him and do a 3-way call and try to communicate that way. And we use Google Translate a lot.
Does it work well? Like, could I rely on that if I decided to dip into Baja this winter?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, sure. And as long as you got cell, there's data in the towns, then you can kind of get by. A lot of people, there's always seems to be somebody that has some semblance of a little bit of English speaking that you can get by. But I don't know. We've never really found it an issue that we couldn't get through. Like, even with our contractor that did the fencing, he brought a friend that spoke some English. That was a struggle, to get through that. And it was a lot of Google Translate and pictures and drawing and
I have difficulty communicating with people that speak the same language, right?
Well,
and I imagine if it's not very touristy, there's probably a lot less English out in that area.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's true.
Once you get out of town, and
Yeah.
but in town there's a lot of American and Canadian contractors. There's Mexican contractors. It just depends what quality you want and what you want to pay, and they're kind of related.
Yeah. Well, put it this way, Paula. Like when you're going down the Baja, like you're going down, and you're hitting all the little small towns and stuff. You better know a little bit of Spanish. It's good to know a little bit, but Google Translate will be your friend, 100%.
So what do you do? Would I walk up to someone and say it to my phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, score, because I don't know how to spell any of it either.
No.
I got pulled over by the police. It's quite the story, but we were camping on the beach and I had a flat, so I raised the camper, left Tracy in the camper on the beach, drove into La Paz and forgot to put on my license plate. So bingo, when they saw me, they were on me with like a dirty
money.
And and
so is it like they say you hand them a couple bucks and it's all done?
It was
more than that.
Probably 150 US to get out of that one.
Yeah.
And it was basically all the money I had, because that's what I grabbed. I grabbed 3,000 pesos, and I knew that was plenty for it to fix the flat. And so many Mexicans drive without a license plate. It wasn't a big deal, but they were threatening to detain me, go to the station and impound the truck. And I didn't have time for it. I had money, so I just figured, well, I know I can buy my way out of this. And so I spent 150 bucks, had to turn around, and never got the flat fixed that day. So I went back to the beach and spent the weekend on the beach, and then Monday morning fixed the flat.
So that story, I've heard stories like that continuously.
Now, if I had time and if I had somebody more local with me, I could have fought that, but it was just me. Tracy wasn't with me. I didn't want to all of a sudden not show up. There's no cell service on the beach, so I can't call her. So I didn't have a choice. I had to buy my way out of that one. And unfortunately.
Yeah, they do say though, Paula, they do tell you, they say don't pay the cops. But in that situation, it was like
they got me. Like they got me on something real.
He literally didn't have his plate on. So
they can set the price, and thank God. It took me a lot of asking. I'm sure we can work something out. I'm sure we can. It's not them that's asking. And of course, they knew they were in the wrong, and they basically handed me something and just put it in there, as in they don't want me to hand the money outside the window.
Right.
So they gave me something to put the money in, and then so they handed me the phone, because we're talking through the phone. So they got Google or iPhone Translate, and he's talking, and then I listen, and then he switches, and then I talk, and then he listens, and that's how I got through the traffic stop, was through the policeman's phone.
Okay, so this takes me right away to another question. So I was looking up taking my unit for 3.5 months into the US, possibly Mexico. Who knows yet what I'm going to do? But I know now you guys get insured through SGI. And for anyone that isn't aware, in the province that I live in, Canada, we only have one option for vehicle insurance and registration. And I think they said they ask if you're going to keep it out of country more than 30 or 60 days. What do you have to do if you're going to be gone that long?
Okay, so we're plated in Alberta, and I don't think it matters to you. What you can actually do is you can park your insurance at home, because nothing applies from Canada and the US. Your home insurance does not apply. Not
my vehicle insurance,
except for glass. Okay, like theft and damages.
But wait! You mean if someone hit me in an accident and I'm Canadian in the States, I'm not covered by SGI?
No, you are. But in Mexico, okay, so Americans going to Mexico, Canadians going to Mexico, you need Mexican insurance. And the only thing you have, if you're not going to use, we're gone for 6 months.
Yeah.
So we park our insurance, and all we leave is basically like glass coverage, vandalism type. So, but all the liability, like collision and liability, is all done through your Mexican insurance. And it's double Canadian rates and probably triple US rates.
So ballpark for your truck for 6 months. Do you recall what that was a couple of years ago?
Yeah, for 6 months. But see, we were insured for 100,000 US, which is a lot. It's a lot, right? 50,000 for the truck, 50,000 for the camper, they were new, right? Everything was new at the time. So that was 1,200 US. So it translated to about 1,800 Canadian for 6 months. Now, I believe you can get 3 months, 6 months, and a year.
I spend more than that in 6 months on any of my vehicles.
Yeah.
For insurance here.
Well, I mean, we spend about 500 some dollars for the camper, and I believe the truck is about 1,300 a year. So about 2,000 a year for the truck and camper for the year for 12 months. So, but then it's 13 to 1,800 for 6 months in Mexico. So, and we never figured it out. 2019, we were for greenhorns and all that. Never thought to park Tracy's phone plan, to park our car insurance that's back home, park the truck insurance that is not anywhere in the US or Canada. And so none of that insurance applies. We could have saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we didn't. We just didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Badge is saying you need insurance. Are you saying that you don't have insurance, Christian, or are you saying what?
No, you need to have Mexican insurance in Mexico.
Yeah, I think it was when you first mentioned I had got some clarification because I didn't understand. And just to clarify for Dream on Wheels, it's here my insurance really isn't about how good of a driver I am or not. It's about the vehicle that I drive. That's what it's based on. It's a little bit different again in Alberta, and every province in Canada has its own version, but ours is based on our vehicle. You might get up to 5% off if you've had a good driving record for several years, but that's it.
Right.
That's it.
And multi-policy or multi-vehicle discounts. And then if you do your home and vehicle in the same carrier, they'll cut your break by combining both.
What? Both of mine are from the same company.
Well,
I don't get a break.
You're in Saskatchewan, and you have to go to SGI specifically to insure.
Because I have no choice.
And that's why, like, my company is based out in Alberta, where Plate is in Alberta.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier.
It's different.
And so TD Insurance is our insurance carrier, and because of through my professional association at the time, I mean, it's not TD anymore, but they still carry the same preferential rate for the association. So we get a discount because we have both our home and our vehicles through TD Insurance.
So Adventures in Xanadu says they have really good authentic Mexican food in the States, and the margaritas are pretty good too. Sounds like a lot of hassle going into Mexico. Now, I'm going to ask you guys as Canadians, is it any more difficult to go to Mexico than it is to go to the US?
No, not for, I don't find it.
Well, it's different, right? It's rustic.
It's just different.
Like, okay, we're not talking Mexico, we're talking Baja. Okay, so
yeah.
there's a big difference. So we can't speak to Mexico. So we'll talk about Baja. But Mexico, two things about Mexico. Healthcare is a lot cheaper.
Yes.
As Canadians going to the US, the medical insurance is through the roof, like cost-wise. And the freedom. Baja is way freer. There's nothing's enforced, and there's really not the rules. It's not a police state like the US, and especially Canada. Canada's a big police state. I mean, driving, 7.5 hours on all highway, I went through 5 different speed traps. Whereas back in the day, there used to be only 1 or 2, between North Battleford and Lloydminster. Yeah. And now there was like 5 or 6. They were all over the place. I guess it must have been that time of the month that they needed to fork in, grab some money off people. But they were very aggressive, and it's getting worse and worse. The corridor between Calgary and Edmonton, don't bother speeding. You're going to get caught. They're there all the time. So
I know a lot of people that have gotten those tickets over the years.
But driving, for example, between La Paz and Cabo San Lucas, they have a little bit of enforcement now. They do have like federal sheriffs now, a little bit, maybe 1, and he's kind of between here and there all the time. When I started driving that corridor, I was doing 160. I was doing 100 miles an hour. in the straightaways and the flats. Like it's just things aren't enforced.
It's crazy.
You can do that. Now it's a little bit. I don't drive like that anymore. It's like not to my
Tracy, do you have to
midlife.
color your hair, sweetheart?
But things are a lot freer down there. It's like
Gotta hide the gray.
having an open beer in the car, between the beach and home, like it's not a big deal.
Thank you so
maybe
much.
Maybe what
Tanya.
Texas used to be a few years ago, maybe. I don't know.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's right, Neil. We also have all the red light cameras on our photo radar zones. Absolutely. Okay, so when you're going to Mexico from Canada, the medical insurance, you don't bother with any, or what do you actually do?
Well, we did when we went down through the States. So we made sure we were covered in the US. That's highly recommended. For Mexico, we didn't bother. This is really cheap to go see a doctor now. If we had a catastrophic collision and we both ended up in the hospital, that might have been a problem. And we've been looking at different options. There is medical insurance, like international medical insurance. We've been looking into that. I think it's different if you take like a full-time policy versus just short-term.
Okay.
That requires some research, and we're looking more in terms of long-term and maybe permanent. In other words, we were thinking of spending most of our time in Mexico, a little bit in the US, and a little bit in Canada. So 8 months in Mexico, 2 months, 1 to 2 months in the US, going down and back, down and return. So 1 month each.
So you're how long in Canada then?
We were thinking we just spend 2 months in the summertime. We just come back during hurricane season.
So does that maintain your Canadian status and benefits? Or is there a certain amount of time that we have to be home for that?
The only thing you have to maintain is your health care. You never lose your citizenship. You can be gone forever.
But in order to have health care, we have to have a Canadian address, correct?
Good to have one. I don't think it's required. You need a province of,
from province to province for your health care, you have to prove that you're a resident.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
I think so, Christian. I'm pretty sure.
And I don't know how Canadians do it. I know in the US, this is where you would use family and friends. I'm sorry, but you would need an address, right? You need a home base, and you need to be able. You'd have to ask your family member to put you on one of the utility bills, because a phone bill is not acceptable.
Well, really? Yeah. Because look at all the people that we know that travel to the States, and they live in their RV, hun.
Mm-hmm.
And they have used their daughter, they've used their children, or they've used their family, and they've used their address.
Yeah, you never want to say, as Canadians traveling into the US, you never want to say that you don't have an address, you don't have a place back home.
No.
Because now they think you're coming down to work and you're coming down to live, and you're not going to leave the country.
Right.
And they're going to turn you right around and perhaps even ban you for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nate, ask that question again on Saturday night, and we'll see if we can hook you up with someone. I don't know if you guys can read the chat the way you're set up, but Nate says with Landcloud Adventures, all right, who am I moving in with in Canada?
Come on down. We have a room for rent.
Okay, so first of all, if you leave more than 6 months, Saskatchewan is 7 months you can be away. Now they have to know that you've left, which at this point there's no communication between you leaving, scanning your passport on the way out. They have no way of knowing when you left. But if for some reason you lose your health care, it's 90 days to get it back. Just don't come home in an emergency at that point. I mean, it's a problem. But people we're still young enough that we don't worry about it, really. So I'm going to go to a hospital and you're not going to take me in because my healthcare lapsed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I know people that have had that situation and actually had to pay in Canada because they didn't have it organized between provinces. Yeah, it can actually get fairly tricky sometimes here with that. So
Nate, we seriously do have a room for rent.
Yeah, we got 2 rooms right now. You can have a 2-bedroom main floor bungalow, or you can rent a room.
see, here's another province's information. Justin and Christina's RV Van Life says in Quebec, you have to be in Canada for 238 days to maintain your Medicare. But I do hear what you're saying. I know a lot of people that have, for example, moved to Alberta from Saskatchewan. They didn't change over their car insurance because ours is usually cheaper if you're young anyways. And then once they get a ticket, then they have to start counting the days that it has, it has to be switched over as a resident versus visiting.
So the big thing about you have to be in your home province for, those 6 or 7 months, 6 months or 5 months consecutive or something like that. I mean, it's not even being out of the country. You can't be out of your home province. So there's no way that they can enforce that. They can't track you at this point. They're not tracking your cell phone location. They're not tracking your passport crossing. At least not yet. I think that day will come someday. But at this point, we don't worry about that. We're away 8 months. We don't care. Do what you may.
None of that's a problem.
But
so
also,
you're not worried about the medical in any aspect.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely afraid in the U.S. Like the U.S. is not to mess with. I mean,
yeah, but we go I think the reason is because, Paula, we go straight through the U.S. to Mexico. We don't dilly dally in the States at all. This last time we would have had to get something because we were planning on staying in the States a long time before we got to Mexico. The next
a month or two, and
So if you're okay, first of all, how many days do you typically spend driving through the U.S. from Canada to Mexico?
Well, we did it. I think we did it in about 2.5 weeks last time.
Oh, so you took your time.
Yes. Yeah. We were only doing about 200 miles, 300 kilometers a day.
Right.
So did you have insurance in the U.S. for that 2 weeks?
We had medical insurance through our health, drug plan, like our health plan.
Yeah.
So we took, I took a third party medical program, for dental, medical, and it had, where we were covered for the first 60 days or 45 days leaving the country.
Yeah,
and
minus 60.
That covered us for the U.S. component.
Okay.
And so it was like, oh, okay, well, that's good. But coming back, because of the My Sharona Cyrus and everything that was going on there, and we boogied home, we had no insurance. We just blasted through the U.S. in 6 days, or took us 6 days to come home total.
Yeah.
So about
it was fast. It was really fast.
We didn't bother. We didn't worry about it. We just boogied home.
So any times I've ever gone to Mexico has always been on a flight. And when you book a holiday, they organize so much for you. They give you these papers you fill out and sign, and another paper you fill out and sign. And one of them is the visa. Now, how does that work driving to Mexico?
Okay, so there's two kind of forms that you have to fill out. One is per family, and one is per person. So you have your tourist visa, the FMM, that you have to fill out. Now, through any travel club, you can now pre-fill those out and prepay and have them all ready to go, and prepaid for your border crossing. So what you do is you just stop short. If you're in an RV, you're better to go to a smaller border crossing where you can park on the U.S. side and walk to the border to the office and get your visa stamped and show that it's paid and all that.
So that's done electronically and paid for electronically before you get there.
Right. So we can pre-fill it. Our travel club gets it paid, gives us a receipt, sends us an email back with an attachment that we printed off, all ready to go, our receipt, and we can just show up. So it saves a step that you don't have to hit the teller and then get the stamp. And then you go back to your vehicle, and then when you drive across, then they do the inspection. So they look inside the vehicle, and so they go through your vehicle.
Okay.
RVs, specifically RVs.
I see here it's a little bit different in British Columbia. Again, for how long? It depends on your province and how long you're there to maintain your healthcare coverage.
Again, they have to know that you've left the country.
True.
Yeah.
True.
We have people now. You'll never lose your Canada pension. Doesn't matter how long you leave. That's yours. That's your money. That's your retirement plan.
Yes.
You've paid for it. You paid
Yep.
into it. So that is yours. You never lose that.
Okay, so we got the visa. What else am I going to have to fill out at a border? Is it any different for Canadians than it is Americans? Like if you're driving across the border, is it pretty much you have that stuff done online for your visa, you go in, you get it stamped, and then when you drive across the border and they search your stuff?
They search you, and then you want to
Yep.
hightail it. You want to get out of any border town and just
Bye.
get a couple hours south as soon as possible. So
Yeah.
make sure that you
Especially in
cross-
Mexico.
Yeah, you want to cross early and then get out, like Tecate is a cute little town. There's a brewery tour you can take and all that, but don't dilly-dally, by
No.
noon, get out of there and head south, get to the vineyards, get to outside the city and,
Never,
So you
never, ever. Someone mentioned Tijuana. Never go through Tijuana.
Oh,
Don't even think
don't
about
do
it.
it.
Too dangerous?
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it's just busy. It's crazy.
busy
It's
and it's a big city to get through once you're on the other side, and more things can happen. You can get turned around, you can get lost.
that is one city I don't feel comfortable in.
Okay, good to know.
It's a big city.
It's
A
big.
big border.
So I have heard this now. In your experience, do you find it to be true or not? I have heard that anyone with a camper or an RV or a van that looks converted tends to get more thoroughly searched. Did they spend a lot of time going through your stuff?
No, they go in, like they want you to open it up and they go in. Most of the time they just kind of step inside. It's not like they look under the bed and open the cupboard. And they were never really thorough with me. Now, if you look sketchy, maybe maybe they're a little bit more a little bit more thorough.
We might have to give Paula our sign that's inside of our camper.
What does it say?
It's in Spanish. It says, "Smile, you're on camera."
Like you're being video recorded.
Well, you know what? I'll probably get stopped for sure. I'm a single woman on my own. Didn't they use that as drug mules in airports back in the day? Like,
Well, usually the drugs come out of Mexico, not going in.
oh yeah, I guess.
If you're bringing them in, they'll say thank you.
And we've never had a problem crossing in Canada to the U.S. and Mexico back to the U.S. It's always been very clean, standard questions, and you just answer honestly. Like we even had food. Like we got rid of all the fresh produce and all that, and we admitted we had frozen meat, like that was still in the Costco containers, and we told them what we had, and it wasn't a problem. Like,
no,
just make sure you read on the border, like on the U.S. customs, in terms of what you're allowed and not allowed. And
so, okay, when we go back and forth from Canada to the U.S., I'm pretty familiar with the things we're allowed to take over or not. Is it the same for the U.S. and Mexico each direction? Like,
no.
Are we kind of standard across North America or no?
Mexico's a little different. Their list is a little different. It's very similar, but there's the odd thing that's a little different. And they have, stuff that, well, I wouldn't bring that. Like, do people still carry those, that type of stuff? But you want to have a look. The thing with Mexico is that, they're looking for guns.
Yeah.
Not really drugs. They're looking for guns.
I heard you can't even bring bear spray across that border either.
Well, I don't know.
We had it.
We have,
Oh, they didn't search your stuff though. You guys look too sweet.
Well, no, and it's sitting in our back doors in those little pouches there in the doors. Mm-hmm. We have 2 cans. We have one on each side because we do go to bear country.
We were in BC before we crossed the border, and then in Washington and Oregon.
We do carry bear spray, but it's part of our. One of the layers of our kind of security strategies, we're not going to get into what we do carry, but we do carry we have the ability to defend ourselves.
Yeah. So just for clarification, we can't bring vegetables, fruit, or meat across either of the borders, correct?
Correct. No
Okay.
produce, anything that can
Spread bugs or some kind of
Mhm.
contaminants. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and plants.
which is crazy because
I
I
heard
was,
even soil. I know Canadians
soil,
that bought bags of soil in the US and
Uh-huh.
they made them dump them.
Yes. And I understand why they brought the soil. Paula, you can't grow stuff. You have to have like, okay, Christian and I, we on our land, I wanted to make a little garden.
Uh-huh.
So I looked for soil in Cabo San Lucas. The soil there, Christian, can you explain what the soil looked like to you?
mulch.
Oh,
It
like
wasn't even
wood
dirt.
chips.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's either mulch or sand. Like, and so,
Mm.
you know, there's
You can
just,
grow some peanuts.
it's really hard to, you can buy the potted soil bags, that it's potting soil.
Mhm.
But if you're trying to build a garden, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you cannot get topsoil like we have delivered.
Wow. That's crazy. And you guys in the chat, I see your comments about keeping me for bribery and all kinds of stuff. Don't think I've missed any of the cheekiness.
I've been watching it.
I do encourage everyone to take a look at Christian and Tracy's channel. You guys do live streams as well. Those are they going to continue to be Saturday mornings?
We're taking a break. So
Okay.
So we don't have we at the end of this month, we won't have our StreamYard membership going anymore, like our subscription.
Mhm.
So we will be full logoed. We're not going to be as fancy in terms of backgrounds and all that. We probably won't be going on for a little bit. Just we're busy, we're a lot busier with other stuff right now, and we're not traveling. We want to try to keep the conversation around travel and RV life. That's kind of our channel. And it's a little sad that we're not traveling and we're not in the camper this winter. It'll be the second winter in a row. And we tried to keep it going last winter, in Cabo San Lucas. And at least that was, it's Cabo. At least there's something there
Yeah.
to talk about. But what are we going to do? We're going to go live and there'll be a snowbank behind us and saying, hello, we're not RVing this year.
Show them how we really dress.
Hey, we could do a polar bear plunge.
Oh, hell no. Oh,
No.
hell no. I'm not
No.
joining you. I've seen people doing that. It's crazy. Have you done it?
No.
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Also, for anyone that doesn't know, Tumbleweed RV Life was at Palooza this last year. So I got to see inside their unit and get to meet them in person. It was so much fun. So much fun. Do you think you're going to go next year to Mexico?
50-50. Basically, things are brewing kind of on my business front, kind of in terms of income.
I'm going.
We're going to go. We're going to go. It's a question of how long. How long are we going to go? And how are we going to go? Are we going to go with the RV? Yes, want to go with the RV. So
we want to go with the RV.
To get back into full-time RV life, we need Starlink. We need Starlink to be available and mobile everywhere. Once we have Starlink, then we can go anywhere because my business is going to be at the point now that it's going to be more. I was semi-retired. Well, now I'm going to be semi-part full-time. So I'm not going to be full-time working again, but I need to be in communication full-time to do what we want to do.
So if you can get that all worked out, will you work remotely from Mexico?
We do now, right? We have now.
We have been, yeah.
We've been able to manage because the work was, let's say 25% of the time, and we could work around the blackout areas. And we managed to get enough cell signal, enough Wi-Fi from the neighbor on our land, and we made it work. But for me to do what I need to do to make this work, where I need more bandwidth where I can do virtual meetings. Um, I need that bandwidth. Then once we have that bandwidth, then yes, we'll be back in the camper.
Okay. So when you had been going to Mexico, I mean, you kept at least one phone, like I think you said you parked Tracy's. What did you do for phone service?
So I have a Telus phone, and I have Easy Roam activated. It's just you can go on your account online and just turn the toggle on, and it doesn't bill anything unless you start roaming. And so as soon as you roam to the US, it's $9 a day. And internationally, it's $13 a day, up to a maximum of 15 days billed in any particular billing period per month. And so in Mexico, it costs an extra $180 because I do have it on all the time. I get business calls all the time. And your whole plan comes with you. So your data plan comes with you. If the only thing that doesn't seem to work is that US calling. So I have unlimited US calling from Canada, and
but not from Mexico to the US.
Not from Mexico to the US. But I can receive all the Canadian phone calls I want. And I can make all the Canadian phone calls back to Canada I want, but the US thing doesn't work. But it's not a big deal. I don't do that much business back to the US. In the US, when we were looking at it, I think Verizon has a decent Mexican roaming plans that you can get while you're traveling down there. There's definitely stuff you can do.
So you just basically say, okay, here's the max that they can charge me for the month, and you just keep your regular service.
Yes.
And budget for that.
Right. I just accept that it's going to cost an extra $180 a month. So it's almost doubling our phone costs. But we run it through the business. It's part of the cost of doing business. And
so having a Canadian phone service, do you find that you have a more difficult time picking up service?
No, it's about the same.
Okay.
It's the same towers. It's just crappy towers to begin with. I do find that I have a hard time hotspotting on my Canadian phone and have a little bit more success with our Mexican phone. So we do have a Mexican phone that it's pay as you go.
So for me, with my phone plan, I have unlimited data, but once you hit a certain amount, which is not very much, they slow you right down. Are you affected by that with your plan as well?
We just got on that plan, so we haven't really maxed it to see how much it gets throttled down. But we have a lot more data. We have 50, and by the time next year, like I could have easily upgraded to 80 gigs a month between our two phones, like 40 each. It's getting cheaper and cheaper now to get a lot of data. The problem that I found with this phone is that as a hotspot, it wasn't very good. Like it did the navigation, like, it found, Google Maps and all that, and it did chew up data for that. But a lot of my Google accounts would say I can't log in, and security Google would say, this is unauthorized or unknown login, and it would get really screwed up. And then if I get back on a Wi-Fi, it'd be fine. But through the phone hotspot, it didn't seem to like it. But it seemed to be fine through our Mexican phone hotspot.
Verizon. Yeah, I've seen that.
I think what I'm going to do, because I'm for sure just going to the US, I'll get some kind of plan there. Yeah. Although, I mean, I have the option for $5 a day to keep my phone. Well, that again adds up, but that's US, that's not Mexico. I haven't looked into that. But even here, if you want to speed up your data once they've slowed it, and I think we only get 30 gigs in our unlimited before they slow it. So it's really not wonderful.
$5 a day, Paula. That'll really add up. Holy smokes.
I mean, it's cheaper. It's cheaper for us because healthcare is cheaper. Cost of living is cheaper. Like we boondock on our land versus you can boondock, at Quartzsite if you want. But what's the killer is the medical insurance. It's like, it's just, Yeah, it's like you got the Mexican car insurance, versus the U.S. Well, even the U.S. medical insurance. You don't
Yeah.
need car insurance, but you got to pay for medical. Like you got to cover yourself because you can basically lose everything you have if you end up in a hospital and you don't have insurance.
Absolutely. So I'm going to throw it out to the chat. If you guys have any questions, now would definitely be the time to get them out there. But I would really ask you to put at Van Vita Travels before the question, so it highlights for me, because my StreamYard keeps going slower than it should, so I'm not catching them all right away. But RV Living Life says, as a Canadian, they have 2 100 gig Rogers plans. That way they pay an additional $20 each plan to use anywhere in the US as well. Not sure about Mexico, though. Okay, thank you guys. And where are they out of? They're not Saskatchewan.
Well,
Rogers is Canadian.
Yeah. Oh, they're Canadian, but they're not. I don't believe they're from my province.
RV.
Tracy, is your phone out of Alberta as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, basically, tell us.
Tell us, yeah.
Justin and Christina are going to go with Rogers.
Yeah, I seen that 60 gigs.
Oh, wow.
60 gigs, unlimited. That's what I was going to say. Like, I never heard that one.
Yeah.
See, in Canada, I'm still tied to my SaskTel plan because how they finance you when you get the phone. So I'm tied into it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can pay it off and switch, but see, Rogers didn't have it.
Yeah.
I was looking at
pay it
everybody.
off for me, Papa?
I was looking at all the carriers in SaskTel and Rogers and Bell didn't have anything that was appropriate for us, that we didn't want to have to sign up like an arm and a leg and have to pay for it for 12 months, or they just didn't have anything. Like you had to buy a block for $50 and you had so many minutes and so much data. I needed something that I just wanted. I know what my phone plan, what my needs are, on the phone. And I just want to take that plan with me and tell us basically that was a great thing. Because I used to take work phones down to Mexico too. And it's like I'd have to get the company to add $50 plan for minutes. And I'd use them up in no time, because Wi-Fi, when we first went down to Mexico, the resort Wi-Fis were terrible, absolutely terrible. I couldn't work off that. And so within like 4 hours in one morning, I used up $50 of the add-on, and it's gotten a lot better since then. The Wi-Fi's are better down there.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of people in the chat are really they have different options.
Yeah. So what have you been thinking? Because you are SaskTel, Paula. Were you thinking Verizon?
Well, I am SaskTel. So I mean, what I'm going to do is just park my plan and then get a chip, but I'm not sure who in the US I'm going to get it through.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need an address.
Yeah.
Yes, you will.
There's by the way,
do I have to have a bill do I have to have a utility bill just to get a phone chip?
That I don't know.
Because in Mexico we got a chip, we got a phone. We bought a phone.
You can get a pay-as-you-go plan. So then if you don't pay, you get cut off. If you pay, then they'll keep the chip phone, right?
That was ours. We literally in Mexico we have pay-as-you-go.
And I just got the notification that I got to get the son to put 100 pesos on it.
Yeah. And our son that's there, he
got to charge it at least every 6 months to keep the number.
So basically, I need if I'm going to stay in the US, I need one of my American friends to add me to their plan and I'll pay the extra.
No, you should be able to get a pay as you go.
No, you should be able to get a pay.
But I want to use my data all the time, right? I still want to do live streams. I still need the data in order to use my editing software as well. So.
Yeah, well, you'll find that trying to maintain your YouTube, live streams and all that, you're gonna run out of data. And so especially for uploads, I'm gonna have to find
Wi-Fi all of the time for that.
And a lot, like in Mexico, even most of the Wi-Fi's in the restaurants weren't strong enough.
Oh, it's
we have to drive an hour and a half to Cabo San Lucas to our son's house and get on his actual Wi-Fi, not a restaurant or bar Wi-Fi. They're just they're not strong enough.
Yeah. See, pay as you go doesn't need an address, hon.
Yeah, but pay as you go is not going to be sufficient for my data needs.
Not if you're gonna do live stream. We had
Jim's got the answer. I just mooch talk with a friend for Wi-Fi for my lives.
there you
Well,
go.
you must have, don't you have any US friends just on the other side, just as you cross?
Do I have any US friends? Well,
Yeah.
everybody in the chat.
So there you go. Hit them all up.
No, I'll definitely get it figured out.
I
Just,
don't
you
know
know,
if you need a US address. I think if you secure it with a credit card, I think you're fine, you know. And if you don't, you know, you'll probably have to buy well, you want just the chip, right? You want to be able to
See, I have a cousin in the States that I can use his address, but if I have to show a utility bill in my name.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So what was it you needed a bill in your name for? At one point we were talking about that. What was it?
That was for healthcare, to establish residency.
Okay. Okay. Well, that makes a big difference.
Oh, I know why. I know what she's talking about, because when we were in Cabo San Lucas and we got our Wi-Fi in the condo, Christian, they used our utility bill, didn't they?
They use our passports, I think.
Oh,
I can't remember what I used to. Oh yeah, no, they used our electric bill. That's right, because they switched the electric bill to our name.
Oh my goodness, everybody's so nice. Evening Shade's like, yes, I'm your friend. Tim's like,
Paula,
I'll kidnap you as long as you want free Wi-Fi.
There you go. There you go, Paula.
Ask at a Flying J in Montana. Does that mean like pick up a trucker? Is that what Karen's going to say, or what?
I wasn't gonna go there, but I was gonna say you can always get a sugar daddy for 2 months.
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. You guys are hilarious. You guys are as bad as the rest of them. What did I get myself into? My goodness. So
no, it's just for the Wi-Fi.
So traveling from Canada to the US to Mexico, is there anything else that a person should be aware of? Like, has there been some real bumps in the road for you?
Not for us, but we've heard stories that certain states, you know, you just got to watch your speed and not get pulled over. And then you present your Canadian driver's license, and then they BS you to say this is not valid in the US, and it is. So you might want to find somewhere the law that basically says that a Canadian driver's license is valid in the US. It's just bogus stuff. And I don't know why I hear these stories, but it has happened.
Tracy?
Just don't speed. Don't break the laws, you know?
I want to hear the but.
So I'm waiting for Christian to stop for 1 sec. The thing is, we had a fake wallet with our driver's license, insurance, or whatever cards that you have, photocopied and laminated, and put that in a wallet.
Okay.
So never handed
that wallet.
Yeah, but that didn't work in La Paz when I got stopped. When I handed him that one, he says, no, I want your real driver's license.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? It'll work in a pinch if you're going to I feel like I was safer using that, because if they took it and they didn't give it back, at least I had my original.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I always have photocopies of your stuff.
That's for sure. We have another really good question from Jim. He's out of Winnipeg. Which travel clubs can you join to pre-clear border crossings?
I'm looking it up right now. I just renewed it actually for another year, even though we're not going.
Also, don't travel at night, Paula.
Okay.
Just hang
anywhere.
On. Oh, Discover Baja.
I'm gonna be following you because I want to make sure you're okay.
If I have service.
So Jim, Discover Baja, and I renewed it. I think it was $59 US for a year. And I renewed it because all our vehicle information for insurance is already there. All I have to do is go on the site and go from this date to that date, and boom, click, and not have to re-enter all the VIN numbers and all that information. So once you're in the system, it's with them, it's a lot easier. to do that kind of stuff, to renew stuff.
Pre-clear the boarding crossings. Is that just for Mexico?
That's just for Mexico. You don't pre-clear
It's
to
not.
go
It's
to
not a pre-clearance. It's that your
No.
visa,
Just
your
the visa,
your paperwork is pre-filled and prepaid.
Yeah.
So you can skip the teller, the cashier, and go straight to the passport stamping and interrogation, and then basically cross with your RV and have the inspection done.
Okay. Did you guys get any extra vehicle insurance? Because how big of an engine? I'm trying to think. Are you eligible for CAA, or do you have issues with that as well?
Well, we when we bought the truck camper, we bought a lifetime roadside assistance.
Okay.
Called CoachNet. It was pricey, but it's lifetime, and it covers all our vehicles, even our car, everything. And I have used it twice now for the car and once for the truck.
Yep.
And it's Canada, US, and Mexico.
Okay.
For insurance, you have to have Mexican insurance. So you are doubling up on your policy, and it's probably equal or 50% more than what you would pay at home to have Mexican insurance. And so you need a brand new Mexican insurance. Your home insurance, be it if you're from the US or Canada, does not apply. And if you get pulled over without insurance, it's very serious. Very serious at that point. So it's not like, when you rent a car and you go to the US and say, no, I'm going to waive the insurance and just use my personal insurance. You cannot do that in Mexico.
Okay.
Flying in and a car rental, you can't do that. Insurance in Mexico is nuts expensive. To rent a car, you'll see on the website $17 a day. That doesn't include insurance. Car rental is $70 to $80 a day US in Cabo San Lucas, and that's just a little compact.
Okay.
You want a 4x4?
Ask for a Jeep.
You want a Jeep Wrangler? They're now $150 US a day.
Oh man.
Whoa. Holy moly, that's insane.
Yeah.
So I've heard a lot where people will and maybe these are the stories we're just told, but puncture your tire when you're stopped somewhere so that you kind of get stuck. Have you heard of those kinds of things? Have you seen any of that kind of stuff?
No, but just to answer that, Cam, is yes, we park our home insurance except for glass. So anything vandalism, you keep that. And we did that this winter too. We left our truck and truck, camper, and car home, and we parked that for the winter. So yes, absolutely, it makes a big difference. Our insurance rate goes from, I think, $282 a month to $79 a month, just to maintain glass and vandalism and that.
Okay.
So you want to maintain that.
So Rob and Jan Canban are from Ontario, and so they're wanting to know, is CoachNet, is that planned for roadside assistance? They can't use CAA. So is that something you only got from the dealership when you bought your truck?
Yeah, it's something that the RV dealer signed, presented it, and we kind of hummed and hawed and thinking we're going to Mexico, and it did work in Mexico, and kind of afraid, right? What would we do? And so we signed up for it, and it was pricey. It was in the, I think, $2,000 or $3,000 lifetime. It's lifetime. So
for that vehicle or for you?
It's transferable with the RV.
Now, do you have to have bought your RV with someone to get that insurance, or could I walk in and say I want to see if I can get that insurance?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I know Rob and Jan Canban have a Sprinter van, Sprinter ProMaster, but they've built it out. Here, let me make you bigger for a minute, Christian. Can you show us that again?
Sure.
CoachNet. Okay. And it doesn't matter the size, they'll cover you?
Yeah. So first of all, it checks to make sure that you're in a good place. And then you basically tell them what your problem is.
Okay, so that looks very much like the CAA, which is comparable to AAA, right?
Right.
Okay.
And it's been pretty good. They do go for the lowest cost provider. So we had battery issues both in the car and truck, and they came and like it wouldn't even turn over. So both times I had a wrecker come because I thought maybe I needed to be towed into the dealership, but they managed to boost them and they started it. So then drove straight to the dealer. Um, and then what else? Was it only twice? Once for the car and once for the truck?
I think so.
And they were both battery issues.
They were, both because of those mice or rats or whatever the heck. Were they rats?
No, not the battery cracking. This was not starting.
Oh, not starting.
Yeah, we had the second battery fell on the truck here and it wouldn't start. It was dead. Like it wouldn't even click, and so and there's no way my little car battery would boost the truck double battery.
Well, I got to write down CoachNet to look into it because RV Living Life, and they're Canadian too. They're letting everyone know that CoachNet will even come and get you if you're boondocking off road. Whereas, for example, in BC, CAA won't take you off unless you're on the highway.
Oh yeah, no. If you can call them, if you have cell coverage, you have data, and you can contact them and give you your location, they will send somebody to you.
That's a lot of the couple grand though, right off the hop, hey? And actually, I wouldn't be able to use that because I'm not registered as an RV at this point. I could probably look into getting it done.
Oh.
I'm gonna write
yeah,
that
I mean,
down
we just tacked it on, right? Just put it through the financing, and of course, we're paying our truck camper over 20 years, so
yeah,
we're on the never plan. So
yeah, that's right. Oh my goodness. So I guess we're going to wrap it up in the next 5-10 minutes. Tell us all the highlights about going to Mexico. Like, what are the best parts? What are the things that you're totally missing this year?
The beach.
yeah, camping on the beach. There's two beaches.
Yeah.
One is Santa Spec, just south of Mulegé in Baja de Concepcion. So it's a nice bay on the inside. So it's between mainland and Baja. And it's a sheltered bay. The water in the morning is like glass.
Clear.
Great place to, snorkel and paddleboard, and beautiful.
And I was going to bring my paddleboard this year.
Aww.
Yeah, we've been traveling with it all summer. And the other place is just near La Paz, to the point, El Tecolote Beach. And again, it's just a free, that one's free. Nobody even comes and collects, $5 a night. There's garbage in there. There's no cell coverage. The closest cell tower got damaged, in 2014 in a hurricane, and they never fixed it. So if you go to the end of the beach and go up on this little hill, you can maybe get one bar coming in and out.
You're like this. You
are literally like that. But Santa Spec has no cell coverage. Tecolote has no cell coverage, but you're camping right on the beach.
I think not just the beach. I think I'm gonna miss the people. We met a lot of nice people down there, and I'm not talking just Americans and Canadians. I'm talking locals that are fantastic. They're our family. They're our friends. They own bars. They own restaurants, and I'm gonna miss them this year. Yeah, I love
next year is a plan for next year now. Is that?
Oh, I'm going.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna go.
I gave up 1 year for my children to help them out, and also because my youngest grandson, he just turned 1, and I'm getting a chance to babysit and teach them, because I've always wanted to teach, and so it's been fun.
That's awesome.
We'll be back in the camper in April. Like, we'll be moving back in.
Okay.
And even if we're in our backyard, I will be more on the road next year. I will actually be traveling for work again, so that'll be cool. And so the truck and the camper can actually earn its keep a little bit. And so we'll be traveling throughout Canada, and probably keep coming home to Regina, just do kind of 2 weeks here, 3 weeks there, and come home. And then the plan is after Labor Day, but it could be as late as after like November, like the first week of November. Basically cross the border and start going south.
Yeah. Well, I really hope everything works out for you guys. I totally appreciate you guys coming up on this live stream. I mean, I didn't really give you a heads up on anything of what we wanted to talk about, but I'm one of those people that just something will pop in my head.
Well, you're heading south, so you have all the questions of the first timer.
Yes.
Well, and I'm thinking, with the border opening to Canadians and the fact that you guys have made the trip and bought land and stuff, you might want to consider keeping some of those live streams so that people can ask you questions and talk. Like, there's a lot of Canadians in the chat right now that are going to the US or to the US and Mexico that have a lot of questions because you've experienced in both.
I'll challenge everybody, okay? It just seems our audience isn't growing. Our subscribership is going down, so we're not quite sure what's going on, but I will challenge everybody. We'll go live this weekend, even though we're in different cities. We'll set up a live stream for Saturday morning. Okay, so that would be 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Okay. So that would be 11 Eastern on Saturday morning. And we'll challenge everybody to go to our channel now, go subscribe and hit the bell so you get the notification, and come and join us on our live at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
And if you have people there, then you're going to keep coming on, right? Because now, like a lot of you guys, for anyone that doesn't know, these guys have amazing stuff on their channel about every aspect of traveling all the way to Mexico and the property and everything. But, I could see our viewership's gone down in the last 18 months because that isn't relevant to anyone with the borders closed.
Right.
Now it's changed. Right. Like, I know personally, there's a lot of stuff I'll be going back and going through over and over and over because, like, it's the thing I want to know the most right now, right?
Our single biggest video is about the F-450 truck.
The truck.
And the second biggest video is basically the purchasing of the Eagle Cap 1200 truck camper.
Yeah.
And then it goes down from there.
Yeah, we could have sold that package deal, the truck and camper, 100 times over. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But people were offering to buy it?
Yep.
Yeah, I put it up just to see what it would if I get takers on it, and it's like it was crazy. It was crazy. I think I put it up for $100,000 for truck and camper as a package deal, and I had a guy ready to come over and make me an offer, like sight unseen.
In Canada.
And another guy wanted the truck because trucks are rare right now. You can't find these trucks.
Oh, I know. All the car dealerships are empty.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked.
Yeah.
Like, really, if I wanted to sell the ambulance right now would be the best time probably ever in my life to do it, but I want to use it.
I was going to say, you need that.
And I won't be able to replace it. That's the thing. So we'll see what I'm going to do after this trip. But, here's a good question. Neil at Cam Rock says, are you turning your camper into an Airbnb this winter?
Ooh.
No, it's closed up and winterized.
That's an interesting idea, though.
It is interesting, but we still have 2 rooms in our house.
The entire upstairs
Come on up.
is ready for rent November 1st again.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate the both of you, and we'll definitely be in touch because that's the one thing I know. Christian researches everything. Like, if I want current factual information, he's my go-to guy. Absolutely.
That guy.
Yeah, I know, right?
So Saturday,
Paula, like that. I was explaining to somebody the other day. This is how Christian is the head guy. I'm the balloon floating in the air.
You're the one that lightens things every now and again. And he's the one that keeps you grounded. So together you have that happy medium.
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you guys. And I want to thank everybody so much in the chat. I will see everybody again on Saturday night. So I encourage all of you now, since there isn't a live stream going on, go check out Tumbleweed RV Life's channel. If one of my moderators could quickly grab that, we could put it back up there. And what is your your YouTube page address for Tumbleweed? Okay, we got the link right here, Ron. Thank you, Nate, for doing that. I'm going to pin it to the top.
Tumbleweed RV Life at gmail.com. Everything like Facebook, Instagram.
And hit us up if you want stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have really nice stickers. I have one.
Yes, you do.
I do. And my lanyard.
Yes.
I'm spoiled. I love it.
You're the only one, I think.
I'm special. I'm a whole own kind of special.
Not special, but special.
Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you on Saturday night.